Welcome. We're on Kerrigart at the moment, which is the map that I'm just a contractor on, and I picked up two contracts, both lawn mowing contracts for two different fields, so side by side, and I had a look around and realised that to access the one I'm in right now, you had to go through the other one that was under contract. So I thought, well, I might as well pick up both of them, both contracts, and do them both. So that's what we're doing. Now, I've actually started this video with no real idea about what we're going to talk about in this video, but I thought I'd better do one because I'm going to be pretty flat stick most of this week, and all of this weekend's out for me, so I'm just not sure when I'm going to get another video out. So I thought, well, I better put one out tonight since I've got half an hour spare to do it. It probably won't be half an hour long, but it'll be 20 minutes long or so, and then I'll upload it as I'm eating my dinner tonight, because it's about 4:15 in the afternoon right now, and I've knocked off for the day. I always start very early in the day so I can finish very early in the day, so I normally work from about 6 or 6:30 in the morning and knock off at 2:30ish in the afternoon. Generally speaking, that's my hours. So it's Monday the 8th of September today when I'm recording this, and yesterday was Father's Day in New Zealand, because in New Zealand Father's Day is always the first weekend of September. I think in the States, from memory, it's a week after Mother's Day, I think that's right. I'm not 100% certain, but yeah, New Zealand it's in September. So happy Father's Day for yesterday to all those fathers that are tuning into my video. I had quite a good day yesterday. My wife and I jumped into the MX-5s after church and cruised out to Macra Beach, which is a beach that's probably about a 1 hour drive from my place. My wife had only ever been there once before, which was a very, very long time ago, so she didn't really remember the way or anything, and I'd only ever been there once before as well in my whole life, and I'd gone about a month to a month and a half ago on an MX-5 club run, which was one of the few runs that she didn't come along on because she had a marching thing on that weekend, so couldn't go. And I've got to say, that's actually one of the things I really like about the MX-5 club, is that you end up going places that you've never ever been before, and some places that you have been before but it was a long time ago. We end up going to a lot of out of the way little townships and things, simply because those cars, they handle like they're on rails, so they like twisty tight roads, so we end up going to very out of the way, out the back of nowhere type places in them, in our club meetings, and it's really, really enjoyable. We have got one interesting club meeting coming up actually in November, which, because there's two different MX-5 clubs in Wellington, and the reason there's two different MX-5 clubs is that there's two different types of owners, basically. I don't think I've told you this story, but I apologise if I have. Anyway, the two different types of people that own Mazda MX-5s. The first type are guys that are in their 20s, so between, say, 20 and 25, 28, somewhere around there, and the other guys that buy an MX-5 and then they modify the heck out of it, so they're heavily modified cars. And then the second type of MX-5 owner is the guys that are in their mid-50s to late 60s. Okay, and they've bought one later in life, and they tend to not modify their cars and keep them pretty well stock standard. So because there's two different types of owner, there's two different clubs in Wellington here for them, and I'm a member of both clubs, but only because I like to be able to keep an eye on what runs they're going on, and normally I only go on the runs for the older club, as a general thing, but occasionally I go on one of the club runs that the younger club's going on if I feel like it, if they're going somewhere really interesting, but not as a general practice. Now, in November we have a big show and shine meeting, which is about about 2 hours north of where I live, and we're expecting about 100 cars from Wellington to be heading up to it, so including cars from both clubs. So we've decided to actually combine the two clubs for that event and all go up like in a long procession sort of thing. So that should be quite interesting, like 100 cars or so, all travelling up together on a 2-hour trip. And I'm the one that's responsible for organising the route that we're going to take and things like that, because the route we're planning on taking, I'm planning on staying off the main road, and the reason for that is, as I said, MX-5s handle like they're on rails. They handle like miniature go-karts, they really do. So long straight roads just aren't really their cup of tea. Yeah, they'll do it perfectly well, but it's not really the most fun. They're a lot more fun on corners and things. So we'll be taking back roads and things to get there. Yeah, that should be some fun. What else can I really talk about on this video? I'm not sure. I've almost finished mowing this lawn now, and when I do, we'll go back and grab the swather, or the rake. The swathers in this game, in New Zealand, they would be called a rake rather than a swather. So I think they call it a swather in this game. I'm just trying to remember actually. We'll go and check just a second. I'll just go and pop into the store for a second and we'll have a look. No, I don't think it's called a swather in this either actually. What's it called? Where are we? Grass stuff. Here we go. Oh, windrower. Yes, so a windrower would be called a rake in New Zealand rather than a windrower. But it's doing the same sort of thing regardless. So yeah, once I've mowed, this is the second field that I'm mowing now of the two that I've picked up a contract for. So as soon as we've finished this field, we'll go back and grab the rake and come back up and rake it into rows ready to bale it. So at the moment I'm still only doing baling contracts on this map, partly because the map is probably about 90% grass. I'll just go and check here. You can see the map here. If I bring it over here, we can see the whole map, and all of those grey fields will be grass fields. If I go like this and go show the grass, you can see there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fields on the whole map that aren't grass out of, I don't even know how many fields there are on this map. I'm doing, there's about 37. Is that the highest one? Yes, I think there's 37 fields on this map. 6 of them aren't grass, which means 31 of them are grass. So definitely the majority of this map, like a lot of Irish maps I must say, is grass. And at the moment, as a contractor, I only own equipment for doing grass, mowing grass, baling it all up and wrapping it, turned into silage, and then carrying it to the sell point. That's the only equipment I own at the moment. But as I make more money, and at the moment I've still got a very large bank overdraft I'm paying off, but when that's paid off and I start getting into the money, I do plan to buy a combine harvester, so I can pick up the occasional contract of harvesting things as well, of those other 6 fields, which at the moment obviously is completely out of the question. Yeah, just crack all this up. And the reason I've got the lights on the tractor here, even though it's what's the time is there? Ooh, it's almost 3 in the afternoon. You can be a slow time down. I'm going to run out of time. I'll just slow time down to 0.5. I must speed it up before accidentally, I think, because I'm sure I started this job in the morning. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was mistaken about that. Anyway, the reason I had the spotlights on the tractor was that on this map, when you're doing the edges of the paddock, where the hedges are and things, the edges of the paddock can really fall into the shadow. It can be quite hard to see that you're getting it all. So I'd always turn the spotlights on for doing the outer edges of any field. Then I just quite often forget to turn them off again. But once I get onto the road, I've got to turn them off and turn the beacons there on instead. So, so I just turned the beacons on now, because I know that in the UK, if you're driving a tractor on the road, you have to have the beacons on. I believe that's the law in the UK, and I assume it's quite possibly the law in Ireland as well. So I don't know for certain, but I assume it is. So I do know it is the law in the UK apparently. I only know that because some English farmer who was playing Farming Simulator mentioned that you've got to have your beacons on if you're on the road. So I try and follow that as well, and always have my beacons on when I'm on the road. So, heading back to my contracting shed now to drop this off. It's quite funny because I put that shed in that I work from, my contracting shed, in this map, because none of the farmyards sort of did it for me, so I didn't want any of the yards in the game. But as I've looked around the map more and things, I actually really enjoy some of the farmyards that are in this map now too. So if I was going to redo this map from the beginning, I probably wouldn't put my contract shed in. I'd just grab one of the existing yards and use that as my, oops, I don't know what happened there, I must hit a hard part of the edge, and just use one of the one of the yards as my contracting area. But since I have already got the contracting shed that I've already placed down there, I would just keep that. Now where's my fuel at? No, I'm okay for petrol at the moment, or diesel. I always check when I'm coming past the petrol station here, since, oh come on, this front mower is very, very wide for this map. Very wide mower, but it's the same brand as the one in the back, and I prefer to have matching mowers, so that's why I'm using it. You know, it's probably a tad wide for this map. Front one. That's alright, so it's down here. So this yard that we're coming up to on the right now, this shed here, I put this one in, it doesn't come on the map. Oh, come on. Here we go. Oh, got that a bit wrong, didn't I? Can I still get in? So yes, this was just a paddock. This one here, when the map was designed. There you go. Now, need to get the mowers unhitched from the tractor. Oh, come on. Oh, that's not very well done. I also put all that junk in the yard there to make it a bit tighter, because I like a very tight yard. I'm sure I've mentioned that before. You can see my push bike there in the shed. And I leave that in the shed so it doesn't get stolen while I'm out mowing and things. Where are we? What have I done here? Okay, so I need to drop the back mower so I can put it down. I'll turn the lights off while I'm in the shed, because otherwise the putting out a bit of light there. So that's the back mower dealt with. Now I'll drop off the front mower as well. Front mower can go there. Yeah. And then so I quite like the big shed, so I can actually manoeuvre around a wee bit like that. And I'll pick up the rake now, and then I'll check what the time is, because this video might have gone on long enough already. I'll just pull the rake out of the shed first, and then we'll check on the timing. Yeah, this rake actually turns, the wheels turn on it to make it easier. Well, yeah, look, the video's already gone on for 14 minutes or so, so I might call that a day. But I just wanted to say that I may not get another video out for about a week. I'll drop one later in the week if I have time, but I'm just, at the moment, I really don't think I have time. I know I definitely won't have any time over the weekend. So just like to apologise in advance if I don't get any videos out until about this time next week, and don't panic about me. There's nothing wrong or anything if I haven't. It's just with this big Lego show coming up that I'm part of the organising committee for. I'm just finding myself running very short on time at the moment. Okay, thank you very much. Goodbye.